welcome to Canada's worst driver, the instructional video. You know, when we named Henrietta Gallant as the nation's lousiest car handler, we knew that her vast treasury of mistakes, along with the errors of our other students, had to be studied and used as a learning tool. So we've organized all of their errors into one comprehensive video entitled 147 Driving Don'ts.
Be warned. In this hour, you will see disturbing images that hopefully will teach you how not to drive. The people you will learn from are not professional motorists, and these accidents are not simulated. Before going any further, let's meet the instructors who will help us break down the walls while taking you through our 147 driving don'ts. Jody Slobodeski is our motivational expert.
I can't!
You want to try backing it up one more time?
No!
Remember, this is a how not to drive video. So, Jody will demonstrate how to not command respect in a vehicle.
Now what do I do? Okay, now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Now what? Okay, now what? Now what? Okay, now what? Now what? Now what? Now what?
All I ask is if I can get some more self-esteem.
Our emotional driving expert is Shannon Williamson. She'll show us how to not stay calm in a myriad of automotive situations.
I'm irritated as hell. I'm gonna have a fit, man. What kind of dumbass can't park a I'm gonna rip my hair out. What the What the Well, for sake. Oh, for sakes.
Oh, for sakes.
Ah! Excuse my language. Should really stop with potty language.
Colin Shepard is our professor of driving ethics.
What are laws, really?
This self-absorbed street racer embodies pretty much everything you should not do as a driver.
This is what I like. I like driving at a normal speed of like 150, 160.
On top of his sociopathic driving habits, Colin also has some excellent tips on what not to say when pulled over by the police.
I don't think cops are the smartest people out there.
Michael Telford is our analytical expert.
Far too much space.
What Michael's thinking about while driving is kind of hard to explain.
The actual equations involved are extremely complicated because you've got an awful lot of forces involved.
But Michael will explain.
Your kinetic energy changes, the amount of room you need to perform a given change of velocity is greater. Oh, not good. Not good at all.
Oh my God!
Our expert on how to not think logically is Sean.
Speed is actually safe, and speeding is safer.
Sean's opinions on safety are as accurate as his spelling.
Absolutely, speeding makes you safer. It makes you very aware. I would make more mistakes if I was driving slow.
Karen is a world-class expert on how to not deal with a backseat driver.
Watch, 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 watch. Don't anticipate. Hang on.
When Karen drives with her traffic cop husband, she allows him to completely dominate her.
Change lanes, so straighten it out. Just slow down. Keep going. Check your blind spot. Back up. Watch the people. Back up.
Go!
No, stop.
To make you a better motorist, we're going to start off by going on a simple test drive showcasing our first dozen driving don'ts.
Don't wear pink pumps to drive a four-wheeler.
It matches my shirt.
Don't wear winter gloves in the summer. And if you need glasses, for the love of humanity,
My eyes are all foggy.
don't drive without them.
I don't need them for driving.
What does this say?
I don't know. I can't read it. I can't read it. You can't even see the signs until you get up on them.
Before you leave, don't pack the vehicle loosely. Don't stack it so high you can't see.
That's against the law to pile it up like that.
First kid goes in last.
Also, don't leave anything on the roof when you drive away.
It's at least a $110 fine.
When you finally manage to get behind the wheel,
Okay, how do you open this? Well, what if I can't get in here?
don't think you'll make the car go any faster
Floor mats.
by removing the floor mat.
Pedal will go down another 1/8 of an inch now.
And don't forget, you have mirrors.
Oh, I forgot. We got a mirror over there, don't I?
When the seat is adjusted
Lift the lever first.
and your seatbelt is on,
I don't know.
prepare to turn the key.
I need my foot on the brake.
I'll start it.
If the engine is already running, you'll damage the starting motor.
Oh, it's going.
When the engine is running, there's a lot at stake. So, the next instructions are crucial.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere.
Don't take your foot off the brake.
It's going backward.
When you're certain your gear selection is correct,
Where the hell is it? There.
release the brake and hit the gas.
Whoa, brakes. Wrong flipping gear.
Don't make any sudden moves. And don't fight the natural flow of traffic. And whatever happens, don't speed.
You have to be way faster than you need to be.
Especially don't speed in school zones.
Don't speed past pictures of children where it says 40.
And if an animal crosses your path,
Oh, there's a goose or something there.
don't drive through it.
Did I hit him?
Yeah, you hit him.
Oh, I hit him.
Likewise, if there's a small stationary obstacle in front of you, don't drive through that either.
En route to your destination, don't get discouraged.
We'll never find our way. I'm discouraged already.
And try not to get lost.
We've gone catastrophically wrong in our navigation somehow.
If you do get off course,
I think we're off course.
I think we're lost. Yeah.
don't panic.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have a Harry.
Gee, I'm gonna lose it.
Just relax, Henrietta. Just relax. Don't lose it.
No exit.
Oh!
When it is time to stop,
Stop.
don't be more sudden than you need to be. And try not to park in a way that traps you inside the vehicle.
I can't even get the door open.
See, I just don't do this for a reason. Like, I just avoid this.
It's a good thing I don't have to get out.
This person can get out. But this side, on the other hand, I don't think is very good.
Can't get out.
Come on, man.
Can't get out.
Yes, you can.
No.
When we come back, we'll look at how not to stop.
Canada's worst drivers are teaching us how not to operate an automobile in this educational special called 147 Driving Don'ts.
Our next chapter is called Don't Hit Things. In this section, we will examine tough questions like, what is the meaning of stop?
Stop sign means stop. Full stop.
So stop, I will.
Stop. Stop.
You did.
Why do we stop? And when should we stop?
Now,
Right.
Certainly, Canada's worst drivers know the word stop.
stop.
What? Stop. Stop.
We didn't say stop.
They just don't know when to stop. Let's be clear here. Stopping doesn't mean driving slowly. The reason drivers stop is so they don't cause carnage and destruction.
Suzanne, I apologize. That must have been a scary trip for you.
And the right time to stop is any time it will help you avoid an obstacle. To be the safest stopper you can be.
Stop.
Don't forget to stop before you run into things you can see coming. Don't fishtail into walls of pylons and then not stop. And definitely don't decide to hit something instead of stopping.
I'm hitting the barrels, and they'll come rolling down. There it goes. I knew it would happen.
Wing mirrors are designed to help us with reversing.
We have mirrors, right?
To make sure your mirrors are still there when you need them,
Mirrors are designed to take that sort of misfortune.
don't knock them off. Stop!
Now, did you just break your second mirror off?
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Add that to the collection of broken mirrors. Oh, man. Oh, we got a maraca for the band.
Yo, you...
She is getting hard on mirrors.
Here's some more good stopping tips. If you are stopped and need to enter traffic,
Oh my God, Andy, I'll never get out of here.
don't stay stopped.
I'll be here all day.
Could be here for a week.
Oh, that's not going to impress anybody behind us that there was a left turn signal and you didn't turn.
Doesn't impress me either.
Once in traffic,
Okay, now what?
don't stop in a busy intersection. Don't stop on crosswalks.
Is there a reason we're sitting here?
I'm not accustomed to doing right turns on red.
If you're going to go, you have to go. You can't just go out and block the crosswalk.
And don't stop in the middle of 3 lanes of downtown traffic.
Oh, please move forward out of that guy's lane.
That's what I'm doing.
Come on. Next to stopping, the best way to avoid an obstacle is turning. To make a vehicle turn, simply rotate the steering wheel the direction you want to go. I know it sounds simple, but for many drivers, it's not. It needs to work on left and right.
It says left something something. Turn it to the left.
Turn wheels left, yes.
Turn to the left, right?
Left or right?
Right, left.
Turn it a little the other way.
Which way? I'm not turning it.
Don't let reversing confuse your sense of direction. Left is still left.
When bad drivers look over their shoulder to reverse to the left, they completely lose their sense of direction and they can't remember what's right or left.
I am currently turning that way.
I'll turn this way. Towards me?
Turn the wheels now my way.
Towards you?
Why is it turning like that?
For effective steering at high speed,
What am I going to here?
look at where you want to go. Don't stare at these two boxes, or you'll swerve into both of them. Don't fixate on road barriers
Jesus, Murphy.
and headed through archways. Don't glance from side to side, or you'll hit from side to side.
Not hitting things on slippery surfaces is much more difficult, with many more don'ts.
If you need to avoid something on mud, don't try to stop completely, or you'll lose all steering ability. Don't try stopping quickly on gravel either. To avoid accidents on these surfaces, skid until you slow down enough to get traction, then release the brake and turn to safety. So to recap, don't give too much brake, and don't give too much gas. Oh, and don't hit the mud while speeding, or you'll have no hope.
Translation, it's tougher to steer at speed.
It can be.
Second law kicks in spades.
Oh, does it ever?
When steering through tight spaces at speeds over 60, there's only enough time to follow your instincts. So, don't pay attention to pointless steering advice from passengers.
Okay, right, left, right, look out. Jesus, look out.
And at slow speed, also don't follow the steering advice.
Turn my way, hard. No, my way. Turn the wheel my way.
If it's obviously wrong.
You have to turn the wheel your way.
To have perfect control on a steering wheel, imagine it's a clock and your hands are at 10 and 2. If they're not at 10 and 2, you don't really have control of the wheel.
I think that you can steer a car better with one hand on the wheel. It's just common sense.
Go like that. I can watch it, Colin.
Sorry. Old people, I guess, do the whole 10 and 2 thing, and really cautious, nervous people.
I'm in the back seat, all right? Sorry about that.
Obviously, the only bigger don't than one-handed steering is letting go of the wheel altogether. Don't use your knees.
Hand on the steering wheel, highway. He loves to drive with his knees, Matt.
And don't use other people's hands.
After braking and steering, the most important way to not hit things is paying attention.
There's a lot of distractions outside the vehicle that can steal your focus. So don't get overwhelmed by the sea of pedestrians.
I'm feeling like I'm gonna vomit, Andy.
Don't get drawn into reading the wrong road signs.
You're running a red light. See that red light that says U-turn signal?
I thought that was green.
No, that's red.
Making a U-turn on a left turn arrow is illegal.
And don't get so focused on what's in front of you that you forget what's behind you.
What the is that?
How about the car behind you?
I never see no car behind me.
If your phone should ring while you're driving, please pull over to the side of the road before you answer it. Hello?
When it comes to ways of distracting yourself behind the wheel, the list is long. Don't do any of these things.
Oh, God.
Looking through my map book,
What?
I send emails from my phone on a regular basis.
Someday, smoking in cars will be as taboo as smoking in elevators.
Oh, no, oh, no, oh, no, oh, no, no, not the phone, not the phone.
Whoever had the bright idea of putting a mirror in the sun visor of the driver's side of the vehicle certainly was not a safety consultant.
The biggest don't in distracted driving is falling prey to vanity.
I got nail polish all over me.
Don't curl your hair. Don't put on eyeliner. And please, don't bother with lipstick.
Perfect. Ready for my date.
Excessive grooming while driving is a moving violation, and you might get a ticket, even if no cops are around.
If I'm in the passenger seat, I grab the cell phone and I call them in. Especially women with the mascara and the lipstick.
To wrap up this section,
Managed it. Sort of.
let's hear what wisdom passes through the lips of our analytical expert, Michael.
Anybody who's stupid enough to try to adjust makeup while driving is, at very best, an unmitigated fool. And I am not applying that just to women. There are lots of guys who wear makeup these days, let's face it.
After the break, we'll examine some very important don'ts when it comes to self-confidence. Welcome back to this special educational episode of Canada's Worst Driver. Today, we're going through 147 driving don'ts in an effort to teach you how not to drive.
Just too chaotic and I just get scared right away.
This chapter investigates how not to be confident. Don't drive at all. If you head off believing you'll end up in trouble.
I'll never do it.
I'm gonna regret this.
I can't do this.
You're gonna be fine.
No, I can't do this.
Likewise, don't drive if you're too nervous.
I'm nervous.
Oh my God, I'm so nervous. Andy, are you nervous? Are you nervous? Are you nervous?
Take a deep breath. I gotta take a deep breath.
Yeah, I'm always scared.
You can't keep the keys.
I'm so nervous.
And if you do make a mistake,
I just couldn't do it.
don't get down on yourself.
That was pathetic.
I'll never do this.
Crap, I suck at this.
Oh, this is pathetic.
If you do start getting negative, don't let frustration blossom into anger. Because that just leads to worse driving.
Give it more gas, more gas.
Jesus.
Which leads to less confidence.
Harder again.
Oh, God darn it.
Which leads to more frustration.
Lots of gas.
Yeah, right. You.
Which leads to worse driving.
Word.
You son of a...
Which leads to less confidence.
Shh, don't be swearing.
Which leads to more frustration.
Word.
You, why don't you get over here and do it then?
Which leads to worse driving.
Shut up. Tell me that again.
It is a vicious cycle.
If you're a less than confident driver, try picturing success. Remind yourself, I can do this.
Okay, I can do this. 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 I'll do this. I can 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 do this.
Don't rely on passengers to solve all your problems.
Okay, how do you ask for help?
Okay, Shannon, which way do I go?
Okay, which way do you want me to turn? Left or right? Now what?
Now what?
Now what?
Now where?
And if you have a problem, don't allow your confidence to spiral out of control.
I'm going around! If you get in the wrong rut, that gravel will take you. It's gonna tip! You got no control and over you go.
Oh, and by the way, don't scream at the top of your lungs.
Who's down there?
Unless you're outside the vehicle, then hey, don't hold back. Positive reinforcement helps change a person's confidence.
That's ass, Jody. You suck ass at backing up.
So if you're the husband of a less than confident driver,
Back up, back up, back up, back up, Jody. Back up, straighten your wheels. Straighten your wheel, back straight. No, straight.
here are some things you should not do to raise your wife's self-esteem. Don't badger her constantly about slow speed.
Just speed up, please.
I want to go any faster.
Get your speed up. Get your speed up. Get your speed up. Come on, keep your speed up. Up to 60, okay?
Off. Am I going north here?
Don't know. I'm off.
Oh, stop it.
Don't mock honest questions.
Don't ask stupid questions.
Oh, yeah, right. Stupid.
Did you just call me stupid?
And don't make generalizations about all female drivers.
You know what women are like.
Do you want to drive with your husband?
No.
Insecure motorists are likely to keep having confidence issues.
Hang on.
If their chauvinistic husbands don't stop grabbing at the wheel.
Have you ever driven and somebody else has touched the wheel?
No.
Would you flip out if someone did?
All right.
Don't touch the wheel, okay? Very good. Let the driver drive.
Likewise, don't grab at the gear stick.
If this is third, then that must be first.
That's reverse.
No, reverse is over here.
Especially if you have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay. Then that's reverse then.
I told you it was reverse.
You gotta crank that way. Hey, go that way. Hey, there you go. No, this way. No, this way. Or does the sign say that way?
If your wife is gaining in confidence, don't discount it.
Well, because I'm building my confidence.
Yeah, okay.
And when she's about to drive,
Well, why do you... All the time. It's water or no water.
don't compare her to a horse.
You're not Mr. Ed.
So many of these aren't just driving lessons, they're life lessons.
Put the friggin' thing in drive and go out there.
Yelling at a driver
Back up, back up, back up, back up, back up.
car behind me?
I can see it in the mirror.
is another confidence-raising no-no. Cheap imitations are also not recommended. And don't bark orders that are too fast to follow.
Put the clutch in. Brake. Turn. Go that way. Go that way. Go hard, 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 hard.
A lack of confidence on the road can lead to serious consequences. So, helping your spouse overcome fear is critical.
I can't do this anymore.
I don't want anybody to see this.
If your less than confident wife cries, don't ignore her. And when she does gain confidence,
Congratulations.
don't be the last one to hug her.
Give her the hug, you're the only one.
Yeah? Oh, this is great. Oh, shut up.
If you're extremely insecure about your driving, confronting your biggest fears in a safe location is a great way to boost confidence.
Why would I want to do a peel out?
Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning.
Don't shy away from learning to do donuts.
Good job! Good job! Thank you! Oh, that was just awesome.
Whew, that was pretty cool. I know why the teenagers do it.
Do you feel more in control of the car now? Like,
Yes, I have a better idea now, yes.
But it was actually rather fun. And it was also good to know that, yes, I can in fact do such a thing if it should be necessary.
Don't be afraid to take chances. In general, don't be too intimidated to learn.
Thank you. I'm learning lots.
I know I've improved a lot.
I feel that I'm getting better, and I feel that I am becoming a better driver.
I think I've got a better idea of what I did wrong and what not to do.
and I think now I'm starting to handle myself and be calm and relaxed.
And the biggest driving don't when it comes to gaining confidence?
No need to be so negative.
I can't help it.
Okay, then.
Don't ever give up.
Oh, Andrew, I want to quit this. I want to quit this right now.
I'm sorry, my driving is here.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
I don't care. I don't want to do any more of those
swearing.
challenges.
What do you think you should do at this point?
I think I should quit.
We're rapidly approaching the 3 biggest don'ts in driving. When we come back, it's a look at overconfident drivers. Welcome back to Canada's worst driver, the instructional video. We're teaching the art of how not to drive by looking at the 147 biggest don'ts in driving. We've examined the problems experienced by underconfident drivers. Now let's see what jams overconfident drivers get into.
I've gotten about 20 tickets and I've been to court about 20 times.
Total number of tickets I've ever had is about 30. These are the ones I had in my car today.
The laws are the laws, and you will get tickets.
If you get a ticket, you have a civic obligation to go and fight it.
Tickets don't mean anything to me. Tickets just mean it's another challenge. You have to win the ticket.
And I guarantee you that you will almost certainly win.
This is my license, which I can't get replaced because I'll, first of all, take it away. Second of all, I have to pay all my tickets first. Of course, I owe a lot of money.
It doesn't mean you did anything dangerous. Not in my mind.
Some of the most dangerous drivers
I think you're a good driver.
Oh, totally.
Why are you a bad driver? Heavens, no.
are the ones with more confidence than skill.
John!
all right.
You thought my confidence was up here and my abilities were down here. Well, after the challenges today...
Is your confidence level higher than your skill level?
On this test, absolutely.
That's right. Right about there.
Cocky drivers are dangerous because they don't often go slow.
How fast we doing? We're doing $120.
Nothing, man. That's nothing. That's child's play.
160 kilometers an hour is, you know, maybe a tad more, but I don't want to hurt the cars.
That's the big risk, though, hurting the car, right? Not hurting yourself or hurting others.
But look at how many cars I got by. Each one of those cars is 5 points.
We're not playing a game.
If you're concerned that one of your loved ones might be an overconfident driver, here are some symptoms to look for.
You've got like a lead foot, you know that?
Overconfident drivers don't see the need for speedometers.
17 years old, and I broke the speedometer. Had to drive my next 2 years without a speedometer, and that's probably why I don't drive with one now.
They don't drive defensively when conditions are slick.
I just slid it right down the end. That was dumb.
And they don't think doubling the speed limit is offensive.
The speed limit's 60. Now you gotta hold double the limit for 6 seconds.
One big sign of overconfidence is denial. And denial comes in many forms.
Just one way on each, like you can't, it's one way and you,
Overconfident drivers don't think understanding road signs is important.
Well, I mean, road signs is not. I mean, it's important, but you gotta admit it's not absolutely monumental.
It's absolutely monumental.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what a do not enter sign looks like, but if you didn't know that particular one, it would be monumental, yes?
I'll agree.
Yes. So it is monumental.
Yeah.
They also don't think they're responsible when they hit things.
You guys can tell me whatever you like. There's some parts that weren't possible.
I don't think that could be done.
Well, it can and it has.
When drivers get too full of themselves, they don't even grasp the logic behind speed laws.
It's complex. It's not that simple. It's hard to define speeding as all one type of speeding.
Thankfully, overconfident drivers don't get away with their behavior. But they do try.
Guy, we were going 140.
If you're a Police Foundation's graduate like Colin,
Yeah.
I don't recommend you go on TV and confidently admit.
This is my student ID from the college I go to, and when I get pulled over, I pull this out a lot and use it to get out of it. I usually just say, oh, I'm late for a test for my Police Foundations course at Durham College. By the way, did I mention I was in Police Foundations? And usually softens up the cops a lot. They usually just let me off.
And I really recommend you don't say this.
I don't think cops are the smartest people out there.
Let's watch that again.
I don't think cops are the smartest people out there.
That's Colin Shepard, license plate AVPP 240. He likes to drive
at a normal speed of like 150, 160.
And he thinks
I don't think cops are the smartest people out there.
Showing off comes with a price. We emailed Colin's worst moments to Sergeant Cam Woolley, and he forwarded them to members of the OPP.
Just send an email and video clip to police officers where Colin drives.
If you think someone you love is an overconfident driver, don't hesitate in diagnosing them if they say any of the following statements.
Smoked them.
Oh, get out of my way.
Speed. It's yours to discover.
Oh, this is cake, man. This is cake.
And I look at the cars as if they're race cars.
Can I get some tea with this piece of cake?
Overconfident drivers don't give other people enough space to feel secure.
Oh, God. Sean, you got weight on her bumper.
And they don't think slow drivers should be on the road.
Oh, if I could just nerve this guy off the road.
These drivers are so narcissistic, they don't realize their fun causes other people problems.
There he goes. No wonder his license plate's got speed on it.
We just got passed by someone with the custom license plate. Speed!
Sean, speed.
Went flying by.
Appeared from nowhere and then disappeared in a cloud of dust.
He seems to think that hidden driving like that doesn't have any effect on anybody else on the road.
Well, it does.
I think it would make almost anyone a worse driver simply because you have to divert attention to worry about whether or not this lunatic is going to plow into you.
At a very high rate of speed, he passed us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Karen feared for her life.
Is that true, Karen?
Yeah, I don't like that.
He's an active hazard. just from speed alone.
If you know an overconfident driver, don't let them away with it. Make a video of your opinions and of your loved one's opinions, and then confront that dangerous driver with the video.
That's exactly what we did for Sean.
Sean, sometimes your driving does scare me, so I think you just need to realize why you're here and listen.
Sean, the public highways are for public use, and it's not for racing, and that kind of driving does scare even myself out there.
The only thing I could say to you, Sean, would be to slow down. Perhaps you feel safe yourself, but somebody driving beside you might not feel safe.
Okay, Sean, you may be one of the best drivers I've ever known. I have seen you on some of these challenges and you're great. But you can't predict what little Billy Bob, 18-year-old with his first week of his license, is going to do. And if he sees you charging it behind him in that nice red car of yours, and he panics and swerves badly into your path, it's going to be... You may be right. You may have done the right things, but you're still going to be just as dead.
He's a smart guy. You can pretty much ask anybody that's been with me. I drive way differently now than I did when I came here. And my attitude's changed too.
If I were you, I'd be worried just casting my memory back about my driving history, thinking, I wonder what accidents happened in my wake that I don't even know about. The biggest don't when it comes to overconfident driving is street racing. Since the year 2000, street racing has killed 36 people in the Toronto area alone.
So please, don't race on public roads. And don't race on roads you think are deserted. They might not be. We're just 39 examples away from the 3 biggest don'ts in driving.
When we come back, it's an entire chapter on how not to reverse. Welcome back to our educational How Not to Drive video, or 147 driving don'ts. This next chapter is all about how not to reverse.
First and foremost, when reversing, don't think that when you look backwards, the front of your vehicle vanishes. It doesn't. In fact, when reversing, the front end of the vehicle has more lateral movement than the rear, making the front far more dangerous in tight situations.
That drives me bananas that they won't watch the front end of their car when they reverse. Drives me nuts.
And I'm clear on this side.
Once again, he's going to do the exact same thing. Watch the front end of his vehicle. Just washing it into that oil drum.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
The biggest problem with this type of accident is...
Well, I managed not to hit anything during the reverse.
That's not true at all.
I don't know if I could do this without hitting things before.
Bad reversers often don't even realize they've hit things.
I did not.
The problem of the front end swing becomes especially apparent when parallel parking.
Whoa! No, stop.
Sir, I told you it was the wrong way.
When parallel parking, don't make any attempts unless you know where your vehicle's rear corners are.
And I'm about to get creamed.
And also don't go if you don't know where your rear wheels are.
Oh, dear.
You were gonna go in the ditch.
Oh, that's not good. Okay, thank you.
You're in the ditch, hon.
Damn it.
And don't assume the angles needed to parallel park a short vehicle are the same as the angles needed to park a mobile home.
To say this thing handles like a boat,
yes,
is unfair to boats. I know. I have personally piloted a 40-foot cabin cruiser that is more maneuverable than this thing. Size does matter. The principles are the same, but the applications are not identical.
Let's continue our decline into bad reversing by explaining how not to go backwards uphill.
When you take your foot off the brake, a heavy vehicle will respond to gravity, even if it's in reverse.
It's going ahead.
If you press on the gas, you will go in reverse.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So don't hesitate getting your foot from the brake to the gas.
Now I'm going to hit the car when I take my foot off the brake.
If fast footwork is impossible for you, don't be afraid to put your left foot on the brake and your right foot on the gas.
I can't do that, Sam.
You have to think about doing more than one thing at once.
I can't do more than one thing at once.
Similar problems can occur during uphill forward takeoffs, especially if the vehicle is a stick shift.
Jesus!
This is the perfect example of why not to stop on a hill without knowing what's behind you.
What was that?
If you know something's behind you,
Jesus Murphy!
don't reverse into it.
Jody, can you not see this?
Yeah, I can see it. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
Now, this next tip is going to sound pretty straightforward, but apparently it does need to be said. If you're trying to reverse your car in a straight line, don't think that it's going to magically manage to steer itself.
It won't.
Straight, straight, straight. So the way I have my wheels now.
When Jody tries reversing in a straight line,
I should have to just keep my wheels straight.
she straightens her wheels once and thinks that's enough steering. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't steer yourself partially into a ditch.
Put it in reverse and back. See what happens.
And if you do back into trouble, don't keep reversing.
Yeah, get me stuck, man.
Don't reverse over stacks of wet logs, or you may also get stuck.
Stuck.
They'll need a tow truck, I think.
And don't reverse over small objects, or they can get stuck.
Yeah, that would definitely affect the maneuvering.
Reversing can be a soul destroyer, so don't let it make you angry. I hate reversing.
Here now is a piece of disappointing information for bad reversers everywhere. Modern bumpers aren't really designed for bumping.
I'm not doing well here.
So please,
Damn it!
don't bump into things. To avoid bumping bumpers while reversing in traffic, don't forget moving cars might stop.
Whoa!
And if you should hook your bumper on an object, don't keep going. It could rip off. If your bumper does rip off, don't reverse over it.
You knocked your bumper clean off and we're dragging it underneath the machine.
If you do get into a tight spot while reversing, here is the golden solution. Go forward in an S-bend, then reverse straight back.
And just stop right here. Just stop. By that little S-bend and then backing up again, you make the car just go sideways. And now for some reversing manners.
When backing into a tight spot at the gas station,
Get in there. Go, 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 go. Get your ass in there. Get it in there.
don't delay,
Jody, you took too long.
or you'll have to wait.
That's ass, Jody.
And please, for the sake of driving harmony,
Can you back up, mister? Back up!
if you need another driver to reverse,
Back up!
don't ask them to do it in an angry tone.
Back it up!
And undoubtedly the most important reversing lesson of all. Don't let your emotions rise to a dangerous level.
Okay, I can either like steam through it and hit.
Sam! I was courteous. Just people cannot comprehend my situation.
Because slipping backwards into frustration leads to scraped paint, damaged mechanics,
Didn't sound the best.
No, it did not.
and worst of all, marital distress.
You yell out what number, and I want a divorce.
You miserable.
I'm not listening to you.
I'm now officially not talking to you.
Get out of the car.
If you grab that wheel one more time, I'm gonna rip it off and cut your head off with it.
How are you, buddy?
Divorce City.
It's time now for the greatest reversing don't of all. Driving don't number 18. Don't reverse slowly through a four-way intersection in the oncoming traffic lane while thinking other drivers can read your mind.
I'm backing up. Hello.
How about the one on this side of you?
Well, he's on for gravel road here.
That is the worst. Bad reversing can be overcome, so don't get trapped by it. Up next, it's the top 3 driving don'ts.
Welcome back to Canada's Worst Driver, the educational video. We've almost made it to the 3 biggest don'ts in driving. But before we get there, we're going to take you through a very twisted section designed to show you how not to navigate.
I just wish they had like a "you are here" sign.
Good navigating gets you from A to B as quickly as possible.
We just crossed the 400.
Yeah.
Well, that's a bad thing.
When navigating at night, if you get complicated directions,
Turn right, go over the railroad tracks, turn right again, it'll be right there.
Wow, it's pretty tough, eh?
don't abandon them to follow your gut.
Yeah, go in there. Trust me. For God's sakes, woman, go back.
I'm doing a big U-E,
Yes.
so...
Don't keep driving if you don't know what town you're in.
I don't even know if we're still in Angus. Or in Barrie.
And if you get directions that lead you in a circle,
We're at the Highway 400 again.
don't get the same directions again.
Sorry, it's me again.
If you're recording a long list of directions,
Right immediately after the school crossing?
don't do it on your phone.
Right at the school crossing.
Unless you want to listen to the entire long list
Let me hear it one more time.
every time you need one new instruction.
Dude, let me hear it again. One more time. Dude.
When writing down directions, don't make up variations.
Your first quick right then will take you to a roundabout?
Something about a right at a roundabout.
Or you'll get lost.
Is this a roundabout?
Here's another tip.
Would this be a roundabout?
If you don't understand a particular word in the directions,
I have no idea what a roundabout is.
don't leave without getting it defined.
Roundabout's just a fancy thing for an intersection.
Well, how can it be a fancy name for an intersection when this is an intersection? Well, maybe this is be a roundabout, Sam. You said something about an intersection.
If you do get lost, don't ignore clear signals like, oh, I don't know, someone honking at you for 2 minutes straight.
Michael, stop. I hear honking. Yes.
So do I, but I'm trying to determine who's honking.
I'm honking, Michael. Please stop. I'm the guy in the stopped car.
Oh, I see who's honking.
Michael, stop.
Whether this is right or not, we better pull off. Let the people behind the van behind us by. One of them's getting cranky.
No, Michael, stop! Stop, Michael, stop!
We have to run into these stop signs.
Not on this road, anyway.
Oy.
So that tells me that this is not the right way.
I'm inclined to agree.
Speaking of horns, we're at number 6 in this How Not to Drive video, ready to examine horn etiquette. If someone honks at you, don't get upset.
You!
Don't answer honking with more honking. And if you're not involved in an incident like Jody here,
No honk at him.
don't honk at all.
We've almost reached the end of this How Not to Drive special, which means it's time to reveal the 3 biggest don'ts in driving.
Demonstrating number 3 is Henrietta. Don't drive on the left-hand side of the road.
Okay,
Okay, what's wrong now?
well, one thing is you're into the lane of oncoming traffic. You see this yellow line in front of us? That symbolizes the middle of the road. You don't want to be on the left of that line.
But that cop was watching me.
Yes, he is. That's that same cop we've impressed before with our bad
Yes.
manners.
Showing number 2 is Colin. Don't run into things intentionally just because you're in a borrowed vehicle.
I don't even care. I don't know, who cares? It's not our RV. Sweet.
And the biggest don't in driving is demonstrated by Michael. When behind the wheel, the most important thing is to never hit my mother. Let's meet Mom.
We're putting a human face on one of the obstacles. My mom. She's a grandmother whose hobbies include baking cookies and obeying the law at all times. She does not deserve to get run over by a car.
When Michael met my mother, he did it with his front bumper. Don't. I repeat, don't do that. Crud!
Sorry, Mom.
That's it for Canada's Worst Driver, Season 2. Thanks for watching. Oh, and drive safe.
Bye.